Greetings, Network Perimeter Security students. This is your professor, Jeff Dunker, coming at you week 5 already. Can you believe it? So under our course information schedule, week 5, that involves network security implementation and system hardening discussion, security concerns and mitigation strategies as an assignment, and the first part of your project, part 1, which we'll be going into in some detail. So with going under the course content area, you have lesson 5, which is due on 10/2, October 2nd, 11:59 p.m. Tuesday. So essentially, I wanted to talk a little bit about system hardening and the practices that a system administrator would do to harden a system. We're talking about things like making sure that your system has latest device drivers and system updates on it, making sure that you have unneeded services removed from the system. You're also talking about selecting an improved password policy and making sure that you have a solid backup and tested a restore procedure for that computer. In some situations, you might want to block USB drives so that people can't use them to boot from with alternative unsanctioned media, so that they could start hacking into your system even further. And you want to think about ensuring that there's some kind of host firewall installed locally and properly configured, so that even at a system level, there's a personal firewall on that particular device. In addition to if you have a system or network firewall installed as well. You also want to check the system out with vulnerability assessment tool. That's another step that you could be doing in hardening. All these things, think about when you're developing your discussion post this week regarding system hardening. I also like you to find an article on the internet and for best practices, and make sure to send a link in that regard as well. So that is what you'd be doing in discussions, and that was right there, system hardening practices. So you can also have a reference to the NetSec TS system harden doc that's out there. It's just a Word doc with some recommendations in it. So use that as well when you develop your reply. We already have one student this week already post his response, and he's waiting on other folks to reply as well, so that you can reply to 2 student posts each week. So just get cracking on that, and hope to see some posts Thursday and Friday, so people can start replying to other student posts. So after you get your discussion in, there's also an assignment for security concerns and mitigation strategies. So that's 1 to 2 pages in length for a Word document that you'll submit. But the main thing I want to discuss right now is project part 1, which is doing a network survey, and there's several elements that you're going to have to look at. One of them is downloading that zip file that has a lot of PCAP data in it and a Nessus scan results detail. Nessus is just one of those applications that assesses vulnerabilities. It's a vulnerability scanner, and that will actually show what known vulnerabilities are on a server. Obviously, it's not going to be able to detect, or it doesn't really do any heuristic stuff for analyzing what are unknown vulnerabilities out there, but there's a giant international database of known vulnerabilities in different operating systems and devices. So these get posted and are referenced. So when you scan a system in particular, it will scan to make sure that all the right patches are out there and give you a recommendation strategy of how to move on. So let's take a look at that zip file. I think I already have it available, and I'm going to bring it right over here. So there's 5 files in there. You have a topology scan of the network. There's also something called an Nmap scan. An Nmap is a utility that can be downloaded for Windows or Linux or even Mac OS. So the Nmap is just another tool to do port scans and understand a little bit more about your network in general. Like I said, Nessus report is out there, as well as the two pieces of PCAP data. You're going to need NetWitness Investigator to pull up the PCAP data, and I within this gave you a link right there. NetWitness Investigator can be downloaded from here, and it's right from the RSA site directly that made the program. So you can actually click on there, register, and then download the app from them. So I wouldn't put down a phone number that you want them to contact, because I just got a call when I registered the software for myself. So if you want to be hassled, put an alternate number. So let's see. When you get the NetWitness downloaded, install it, and then you will be able to look on your computer for the program. It's called NW Investigator. So when you run that application, it will come up in a second for me. I basically created a new collection on here, new local collection, and then I imported packets. And I actually picked up those PCAP files, and I unzipped the files to get them. So then I just imported those into NetWitness, and what you'll see is the PCAP data comes right up here, and it'll tell you the types of services on the system, the systems involved that we're transmitting as well as receiving. So your source was transmitting, and the destination is obviously who's receiving the packets. But you'll see communication between the two. So this will get you started with NetWitness Investigator, and what I want to see is you utilizing not only the PCAP data but also the Nessus scan and the what other file? It was the Nmap scan and the topology in your report. So basically you're just going to give me a report. I don't care if it's Excel or PowerPoint, Excel with Word support, detailing each host that you're connecting to. So basically read the instructions for the tasks. You'll want to identify all the hosts within the corporation text network. So you'll be using all resources there. The protocols, which you'll be able to get from the Nmap scan, the Nessus, and as well as the NetWitness Investigator. So just provide me a report with all the details. How I'm grading is just right there. Did you cover all the hosts identified? Did you identify all the hosts provided in the packet trace? Did you include all the services and protocols that were identified in those traces? And did you properly create a report that had decent grammar? I'm not going to count off for really bad. If it gets really bad, I would be taking off any points for that. But just understanding the core competencies of doing these scans. So that's what I'm really looking for. If you have any questions, let me know. And good luck with this report, and utilize the files that are at your disposal. Have a good day. Bye.